Hi guys, how are we doing? So, 17th of November, right in the middle of everything season. How is everybody feeling? How is everybody doing? General check-in. Okay, so let's see what we've got this week. How did the last week treat you? It was, I think, a little calmer for me this last week, but there were a lot of revelations. So, let's see what we've got for this week. There we go. Okay, so our first card out is sorrow. So what is it that you are mourning? And is it necessary to mourn it? So I am very much getting this week that we need to be thankful for things. So perhaps this sorrow is, yes, okay, things have moved, things have left us, we've left things behind, whatever, and we will have a grieving period. But actually, is it a loss? Is it truly a loss? When everything's cleaned and cleared and all that sort of stuff, is it actually going to be more of a, not necessarily misplaced, because then we'll feel guilt and we'll beat ourselves up, but is it something that actually in the long run is going to do us a favour rather than be something to be mourned? So the second one, reunion. Now, what I was saying about revelations and things, and then we've got the sorrow, we've got the reunion. Is it, so what is going on in the world? I get a feeling that with the gratitude that we need this week, that we should be showing, that actually, although the reunion has long been planned and anticipated and things like this, whether it's a group of you or whether it's just you're meeting a mate or a long-lost cousin or something, actually, it's not going to be what it seems. There's hidden agendas going on at the moment, and especially with Mercury in retrograde, we've got to be so careful about these things right now. And it's, a lot of people say, oh, there's a lot of joy in these cards, there's a lot of joy in these cards because of the yellow. Yellow is the solar plexus. So how you think others view you. Do others view you as melancholy, sorrowful? Do others view you as the life of the party, or is it something in between? What is that balance? Only you can say what that balance actually is. And here we have sighs. Now, we've not had this one before. This is a new one. I don't think I've seen, in all the years I've been using these cards, I don't think this one has ever come out. So, things are shifting, okay? We've had Samhain. We're in retrograde season right now. I think there's 3 or 4 planets in retrograde right now, as well as Mercury, which obviously is a big one for us because it's so close. So when Mercury and Mars go into retrograde, we feel the effects more so than some of the other planets because they're further away. So this week, I am saying there is going to be loss, but actually, is it a loss? So you've gone from being, woe is me at the beginning of the week to, oh well, big sigh at the end of the week. So from one end to the other, it's, yes, it is still something to reflect on. It is still something to think about. And with a retrograde, there is always a lot of reflection that goes on. So the reunion, I think, in sort of like the middle part of it, is it's almost to say to you, actually, what you think you've lost, you haven't. There's a reason that contact has been minimal. There's a reason that these things haven't been said or done or looked at or looked into. And by the end of the week, you will actually come to realise that although people paint a certain picture, it's not always the truth. And you need to be true to yourself this week. So yes, there may be a lot of breastbeating and wailing and stuff going on just while you adjust yourself to what is actually going on. But once you realise what it is, it will shift. So we've gone from the predominant colour being yellow in these cards to only just having yellow trim in this one. So it's almost as though you're stepping back to step out again. So on this one, yeah, you're stepping out, you're the life and soul of the party. On this one, you're like, oh, okay. What is it that shifts in the middle of the week? And I think it is to do with this. Somebody you've not seen in a long time, somebody you've not heard from in a long time. Perhaps they'll pop up on social media. Perhaps it is a family thing. Perhaps you're going off to a party and you'll see somebody you haven't seen in ages. Old colleagues, maybe, people you used to work with at previous jobs, something like that. Something's coming up, and it's not so much missed opportunities as you going, actually, what? Yeah, okay, maybe I said no at the time, but now, looking back on it, perhaps it is a good thing. Perhaps it was something that actually wasn't meant to happen, which was why I said no. Trust in your gut. Trust in your gut is a huge thing this week. So the top card there is Fortune. So no, the things that are going on, the things that are actually upsetting you this week, the things that are making you cry, the things that are making you sigh, actually, you need to take the blindfold off and realise that these things are here for the better, for your greater good, for freedom, essentially. And a lot of it is going to be emotional freedom, but I think that there are going to be other benefits as well. It's almost as though it's going to unblock something. Something's going to shift and it's going to unblock. And it all sort of, revolves around this. But it's one of them, perhaps you're dreading the reunion, and perhaps after the reunion you'll be like, okay, it wasn't as bad as I thought. Perhaps it'll be something like that. But sometimes we do need to revisit these things just to see if our reaction is still the same. But these two cards together suggest to me that the reaction is not going to be the same, and therefore your shadow work is working, which is your fortune. So learning your emotions, learning your responses to certain situations, and knowing that sometimes it's not as bad as it seems, but quite often we just have to go through these things to realise this, and it's going to change that to that. So you may think that it's absolutely horrendous and that it's going to be a nightmare, but actually it's nowhere near as bad as you're thinking. You're overthinking it, you're overcomplicating it. And because of that, and your realisation at the end that you did overcomplicate it, hopefully you will learn from that and be able to step away. And this is where your fortune lies. This is where you will get your benefits, your rewards, however you want to phrase it. Okay, guys, that's all I'm getting from now. So, short one this week. I'm looking to upload some more meditations during the week. So, stay with me. Bye for now.